grooving. Check, check, check.
All right.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're doing this? Can we...
Hey everybody.
Can we start it? Can we start later? Do we have to
Okay.
start right now? Can we... Oh, we have to start right now?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start right now.
All right.
Hey! What's up, guys?
So, it's Laser Talk with Walker and Nick. And today we have a special episode because it's Nick's birthday.
Oh, you didn't have to, you didn't have to do that.
But it's not about birthdays, unfortunately. It's about small businesses, yeah?
Absolutely. So small businesses are a core customer for us with Laser. So you can do anything with Laser with small businesses, and by anything I mean that just about any small business can benefit from using a Laser. Now, maybe every small business doesn't need a Laser, but most small businesses could utilize services that you offer using the Laser. So what we're going to do today is go through a few of the things that our customers make and the ways that they make and utilize the Lasers to make money. And then later we're going to go through a demo on the fiber, right?
Yeah, Rotary demo.
Right, we had so much feedback from the Rotary last week that we actually wanted to do a Rotary example on the fiber as well. So you can see an example from the Pro CO2 to the fiber, so you can see speed, accuracy, that type of thing.
And do we have a video on YouTube of the CO2 Rotary?
Oh, absolutely. So if you
put it up here?
yeah, actually we will put it up there. So if you did not catch it last week, you can check up over above Walker said and click on the Rotary example from last week, which is Charles has taken the clip from last week's episode and has put it into a nice, usable little video. So if you guys want to just check out the Rotary and the CO2 little demo, we've got that from last week as we talked about wedding applications and different things you can use the CO2 laser for in applications to weddings.
Look at all the people saying happy birthday to you on Facebook.
Look at all these happy birthday. Thanks so much, guys. That's pretty cool, man. You guys didn't do
That's
that.
awesome.
I appreciate it. And thanks to our brand new graphics designer, Shantae. She actually brought in cupcakes for my birthday. It's the nicest thing ever. Couldn't be more thankful. Thank you guys and the team and everyone for wishing happy birthday. Now let's get back to business. So literally back to business. Now, one of our favorite customers, Steamy Tech out in San Jose, California. They make a bunch of Steam Tech inspired things, much like this tie here. Now, this tie here, you can probably make 3 or 4 of those per sheet of material, plus the rings and a few of the other bit of hardware they use. I'm guessing cost of materials on this is somewhere between $10 and $15. This retails on the store between $40 and $50. That's a great little product there they do all steampunk inspired things. So they have gear-based coasters, and if you ever see a gentleman walking around a Maker Faire or a Pirate Fest or something with a large top hat on, lots of things spinning, that's Greg. Go see Greg and Laura. Greg and Laura Price, they're the owners of Steamy Tech. They got some of the coolest stuff you can make with lasers on the planet. Make sure you check them out. They'll be at Maker Faire San Francisco, I'm sure, so if you're in the area, make sure you check that out. Another one I think is great are these plush dolls. Now, want to tell us a little bit about this?
So that's just felt and it's cut, and the pattern is simply just, you can repeat it with the laser. That's what's great about using fabric to make stuffed animals, pillows, and that some sort of thing is you can create patterns, over and over and over again and just tweak them for different monsters like this guy or something like that. So.
Highly repeatable. So you would think that something like this, when you have different types of, like you can do different colors for the bodies, different colors for the face and eyes and stuff. So even as you have different models of this product, you can still use the same pattern. So like Walker was saying, the pattern for this is the easiest part. So you can do the design, have it laser cut out, and then rock and roll through. Ruben's actually pulling up some Steamy Tech stuff, and he's going to put a link for Steamy Tech down below in the comments if you guys want to check out some of their stuff. Some of the other great things you guys have maybe seen on Shark Tank or one of the other, they do some commercials on TV too, but Love Pop does these really great laser cut cards like this. Now, the design of something like this obviously is pretty complex, so you're really going to the deep end here, but having a personalized card like this that has a pirate ship that opens up, I mean, that's going to change a kid's life when he gets that for his 12th or 13th birthday. Is that a little old for pirates? Maybe 8th birthday. Let's say more like that.
Always cool.
But either way, I mean, if I got this card right now, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this is a great thing to do, personalized cards in there. And then also, like, let's say you're a farmer's market, right? So you could also do things like this.
Yeah, so you can always add to your business. Like, say you sell honey, you can etch your own honey jars.
Absolutely. And then let's say you're that person at the farmer's market who has their own laser cut honey jars etched. The next thing everyone's going to ask is, where'd you get those etched at? And now not only do you sell your honey at the farmer's market, you also provide a service to other people working the farmer's market to have laser cut items for their projects. So another thing, we mentioned this last week, but obviously doing tumblers like this for not only gifts but as personalized products. Like this one is for a groom's party, for a wedding, but we even did these at work, which we'll play a video for here in a few seconds. These tumblers turned out great on the fiber, and it makes it really easy to personalize them all in the back and change each tumbler for each individual person and the time they started. So we have things like that. Also, personalized phone cases is real popular.
Yeah, you'll see those at kiosks at the mall. They just buy in bulk the little wood backings,
Right.
and they etch right on top.
Right, so many times you'll see, if you go to, even a friend of mine just got this done in Indonesia. He just sent them a photo and they etched it right on the back of the phone case, and like an hour later he came back and picked it up, and it cost him $50. And to him, he thought that was a great deal. And when you think about buying bulk wooden phone cases or even making them yourself, those are $1 or $2 piece when you get them blanked and unfinished. Etching it on, you can charge an upcharge for that anywhere from $25 to $50, and all said and done, all you really need is a location to, really tap into people to be able to do that. So let's say you're in a vacation town near some sort of, what do you call it, like a carnival or some type of event in your hometown where a lot of people are going to be coming through, whether it's an art fair, First Friday type thing.
Tourist trap.
Basically a tourist trap where you can count on a lot of foot traffic, or let's say you had a business in a touristy type location like a Las Vegas. You can go down to the Las Vegas Strip right now and you can actually get your picture taken and etched onto a pendant. So there's lots of ways you can go about this to do personalization for gifts. If you can imagine, at, let's just say, like an Oktoberfest, a lot of people buy steins and other large items. Everyone wants their name on something. So whether you're just doing personalization for items that already exist or that are at the event, utilizing the laser to upcharge for a personalized service is really an easy way to add not only income to your business, but for a minimal amount of overhead.
Well, especially if you have a weird name like Walker and you go everywhere and there's always Nicks.
Yeah.
It's nice to see something that you could get done for a weird name.
Absolutely, and even some people without a weird name, just with a unique spelling. A friend of mine, Annie, she spells it A-N-N-I-E, which you would think, given the Orphan Annie and the play and the musical and A Hard Knock Life and Jay-Z and all those things that made Annie pop, that you'd find that spelling of Annie. But you don't really see it that much.
Like just one N? That's normal?
I'm not sure, but I don't think you see Annie very often.
Oh, that's
I think it's just but that seems like a common name, just one that just cycles out. So again, personalized names on things are really easy. So if you didn't want to make the object, if you didn't want to make this phone case, you could easily go on places like Alibaba, Amazon, buy bulk cases of this, or even places like, Romark has laser bit materials, which from keychains to little, pocket knives and things, anything that you could personalize for gifts. So maybe a great idea for you is to get a few samples made and then approach a few businesses and kind of show them the services you can do and provide for them. We have a few examples here for return on investment as far as, if Scott, you wouldn't mind pulling those up. Real quick, like ROI breakdowns on some comparables. For like a non-custom engraving on a fiberglass, like this type of tumbler, if you went into the store, this would probably cost what at Walmart? $6, $8, $10, what? You can buy these in bulk at Costco or things like that for $5 or less. A tumbler? Is it called? A tumbler?
Yeah, tumbler.
Tumbler. So $5 less on the tumbler. When you do a non-custom engraving and just have a standardized, maybe pick 5 designs, you put them on the tumblers, you can charge $25 for that easily. Text-only custom engraving, add another $10 on top of that. If you want to put a custom design or image on it, you could add another $20 or $40 on top of that. So with the customization on it, I don't know if you guys remember when Dell came out, but they offered very inexpensive computers. But as you went through and did the checkout, you could add a $20 updated keyboard, a $10 wireless mouse, a flat screen monitor rather than the big bulky monitors they used to have. And while it appeared to have a very low price, after you got all the personalization in that you wanted, at the end you're like, I'll just spend the extra money because it's exactly what I want.
Those little steps.
Absolutely, and you can do that with your customization of these materials. So a tumbler bulk costs $5 to $7 depending on the size. The time it takes to make one of these total, 12 minutes on the Pro, about 4 minutes on the Fiber. To do graphics and images on it, could range for you, but for the most part, there's not a lot of time, effort, or money that goes into making one of these, and especially if, let's say, you're doing a run for a sports team, a Boy Scout group, or something along those lines.
There's a lot of groups like that want their logo or something on there.
Absolutely. So if you can imagine doing maybe a water bottle like this for a Boy Scout troop that are all going to do their first overnight hiking expedition. And to commemorate the first overnight hiking expedition, their troop leader is going to get them all custom water bottles. Now you might think, well, what an expensive thing to do. But really, you can probably get these water bottles at a bulk rate for a group of 10 people for somewhere between 15 and 20 bucks a bottle, if not less, if you're doing the bulk rate. Because chances are, once you have one file done, you might have to put everyone's name on it, which could be easy, but you're just doing the same file over and over again. That's the best part about large quantity orders, is that once you get the file done, you can really kind of just work yourself through it. So did you want to go through the example on the fiber, or did you want to check out this neat little example you have there first?
We'll check this guy out. So a handful of years, this guy actually came up with this idea, and everybody just went crazy and started copying it.
Absolutely.
So this was a LED. It has a LED in the bottom.
You can actually show them if you want to turn upside down. You can see that we took the bottom out so you can see underneath, but the LED goes around this lip here and allows the light to shine up through the acrylic there.
It actually catches all the etching on this, so it looks three-dimensional.
There's a little too much light in the studio today to show you an example. We can show you very briefly with our little light here. It's going to get a little bright. It's a little weird, but as you can see,
it'll catch the light.
It catches the light quite a bit, yeah.
With the LED strip on there, it looks pretty cool. But now there's guys selling these like crazy at mall kiosks. Every design imaginable.
Absolutely.
And what's cool is the bottom piece they sell. I think it's like $10, and then you can just make custom
the acrylics
slots. It's super awesome.
Yeah. So the bottoms are very easy to make, especially if you just do a stack. If you do a notch box, which you can pick up on Laser 101 to see how to do that, it's really easy to do the bases yourself. But like Walker was saying, if you want to just pick up a dozen of them for $4 or $5 a piece, it saves you time, and really at the same time, like, if it's easier, like some people ask why we got some of those blank Christmas tags. Well, it's really because the price that they sell me tags at is cheaper than what I would buy the sheets of material at. Yeah. So to me, that just makes economic sense. And if the shapes are good enough for a Christmas tag, they're good enough for me. If I want to do a personalized one or do a special one for mom, yeah, you can always do that. But
yeah. And mom taught you how to shop around, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, you don't always have to do it yourself. It's not always the cheapest option.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it is, and that's what makes the laser great. But if you can cut time out, and that time is worth less than the money that it takes, or worth more than the money it takes to get it, I mean, why not look at those options? So as you're going through and doing these things, make sure you're looking at different options on how to source your material and objects, just so you can maximize your time and the effectiveness of your laser.
So we're going to go check out the Rotary?
Yeah, if Charles wouldn't mind queuing up the Rotary, we'll show you this fiber Rotary demo now, where basically we did 60 of these, actually we did, so this is an example here of the tumbler for Sunrise Coffee. It's a local coffee place here in Las Vegas. Our sales manager actually had a few of these ran off for them so they could take a look and see how it would look to have a personalized tumbler made for the shop, and then have those for sale in their little cafe. Now, as you can see, this goes much faster than what our CO2 example was last week, where our CO2 example takes about 12 minutes per tumbler like this, or per water bottle like this. On the fiber, this is about a 4-minute job total. So as you can see, it really tears across the bottle, really works across the anodization really well. And you notice the detail on it is just so much crisper than it is on the CO2. Oh, yeah. And it's really good on the CO2, don't get me wrong.
It's good, but it's not fiber.
Absolutely not, yeah. You're literally splitting hairs when you get down to that type of detail. And as you can see right now, it's going on a second pass, which just goes back and does a separate direction crosshatch, so they have a good fill and that your fill looks good. So that was the example on the fiber demo. Now, as you can see from last week, a little bit different in the sense that it's a lot faster to use and a lot more detailed. Oh, yeah. So if you're looking at, if you're starting a business where all you were doing was engraving tumblers or water bottles, or that was going to be one of your major offerings, think about getting a fiber laser. It's about the same price as a Pro CO2. In many cases, it's less expensive than a Pro CO2. And the time that you save on the fiber, you can't make that money up. You can't make that time up. So you're about 4 times as fast. So looks like we have a question coming in from Facebook. Reads a little weird. So Michael Spencer asks, my tube never even gets warm to the touch and I'm not using a chiller. Is this normal? Yes. Very simply, yes, that's very normal. So a chiller keeps your tube at a regulated and constant temperature. Now, while it's cool to touch, that's normal because where the heat's actually building up in the tube is actually well beyond where you can touch on the tube. So that area that's kind of a buffer in between it's actually what it's there for, to diffuse the heat. So you wouldn't really feel it hot to touch unless you had no water running through it. Then it would heat up pretty quickly.
And it'd be too late.
Yeah, and it would actually, it would be too late. But luckily for you, your laser won't fire unless your water is flowing correctly through your laser.
Yeah, and definitely don't try to touch it if it's running. Static electricity, that kind of thing, just try to avoid it.
Absolutely. So touching your laser system, like Walker mentioned, if you're walking around in socks or barefoot and you have a big static charge on your finger and then touch the tube, I mean, you're only really asking for trouble at that point.
Yeah, I mean, so many things could happen, and you don't want to stand behind those pro tubes if that back hatch is open, period.
Right, and why is that, Walker?
Well, the beam combiner actually reflects a little bit of that actual power, and it could get you.
Right, so that's the reason why we have locks on all the back panels of the Pro machines. So that if you need to get in there, you do it purposely, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So some of you ask why we have so many locks all over the machine. It's always for a reason. It's not just so, it's an inexpensive way to do a handle or a latch, or I think I saw a comment like that. It's actually more expensive to put a lock on it, trust me. And your keys are easily replaceable. So if anyone loses a key, or if you're missing a key for your Pro machine, please just call your sales rep. We can help you out replacing that tube. So I guess we have a contest winner that came in that was pretty awesome this week too. We should probably talk about that. So our contest winner this week, very, very talented, Kristen Bodmer, actually used a design that was submitted by one of our sponsors.
Yeah, so it's a bottle opener, and people collect those caps.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So great job, Kristen, executing on that. And that looks great. A big round of applause for Kristen. Looks great, great job. Your sales rep will be in contact here in the next day or two to get you your prize, either $250 towards a purchase at Full Spectrum Laser or a free lens for your laser. So, to be on the lookout for that, and we'll get in contact with you in just a few days as far as getting your prize out to you. It looks like we have a few more questions coming in a little last minute. How often should I clean my mirrors? What should I use? That's a great question, Walker.
Yeah, so how often? It really depends on how often you use the machine.
Or what you're doing with it, yeah.
What you're doing and which machine, really.
So what would you say if you were a Muse user and you were a typical hobby user, 20 hours a week, and you were doing mostly woodwork?
Mostly woodwork, I wouldn't see any problems after every job. Or let's say you're running like 2 hours that day. Run those 2 hours, clean those lenses and mirrors. There's no reason not to. It is open face compared to the pros, which isn't. So I would just constantly clean those. And I would actually remove the lens completely, clean both sides,
Absolutely.
Put it back in.
Great suggestion. With the Muse, you really can't clean it too often. A lot of people, I don't say complain, but they think the tube's going out, or they think the power supply's going out, when really they just need an alignment and a cleansing of the optics. So always take a look at that first if you ever have any problems, especially if your power seems to be dropping or you feel like you have a little bit of lack of performance with the machine. Mm-hmm. Looks like, is it possible to clean the HEPA filters to make them last longer? Absolutely. So what you should use is a shop vac, basically, right?
Yeah, you can do a shop vac. I've seen people, they actually use power washers and then let them dry. I don't know really the outcome. I'm pretty sure it's fine. But you can always buy a replacement as well.
Yeah, I would only suggest with the power washers, start on a low setting.
Definitely.
Yeah,
those cut through boots.
Yeah, so just be careful with that. Looks like we have one more. How often should I replace the water in my cool box? Great question. Your cool box actually runs as a closed system, so there's very little need to switch the water, but a handy suggestion is every 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, don't see why not.
So one last one. Oh, sorry, they're typing in. Do I need to clean the air assist nozzle? How often? About as often as you clean the optics. Not a reason to go down there and just give it a wipe. Usually a little bit of buildup can come up right around the edge of the nozzle, right?
Yeah, that nose cone is so close to the material itself that sometimes the the residue and the glue from the wood and cutting kind of deposits on that edge, and you just want to mark it off. Sometimes I use some sandpaper, just clean it off a bit, and it's fine.
It's perfect. It looks like one last one. I think you said that last time, but we have two. Does the exhaust fan need to be cleaned? Absolutely does. I'll tell you a little story. I learned the hard way you need to clean the exhaust fan. I couldn't figure out why my exhaust fan was not pulling very good, and I went and opened it up, and it was just caked. All the stuff that had been being sucked through got caught up in the fans and other things, and just every week or two I would pull that bad boy out, just knock it out over the trash can or outside, and I use some air, compressed air to get in there, just keep it cleaned out. So you want that flowing and turning easily. Like, it was unbelievable how much faster the fan just turned after it was cleaned. I think I was getting close to actually binding it up because it was getting so dirty. So really important to keep that cleaned out. It's really easy to do. Just give it a good wipe. Make sure it's unplugged and off before you clean or stick your hand inside the fan at all. But just give it a good wipe, a good spray out with that compressed air, and you should be fine.
So you have a setup where it's just a scroll fan out a window, right?
Absolutely. So I just exhaust with the exhaust fan out a window. So every bit of exhaust goes through the exhaust fan. Which, as you can see, the buildup that happens around your laser tube and near the back exhaust port, that same buildup is occurring through your tube and around your exhaust fan. So just keep that in mind as you're porting outside. I think that's it. Baker's budget. Okay, it looks like I guess we'll just go through our sales in case any more questions come in. We do have, of course, the Pro 20 sale still running. We only have a few of those units left. This sale has been going so well. Most of our inventory is gone, so if you wanted to get one of the last few Pro 20 by 12 Pro Series machines at this great deal, $4,500, everything you need included, please call our sales team today. They'll help you out right away.
It looks like Danny Smith on Facebook is weighing the options between this guy and the Muse.
Well, Danny, quick thing to compare yourself with the Muse is we have two sales going on. Basically, that $4,500 sale with the Pro, and then the Muse has a great sale. We actually get the Muse Riser Rotary and water chiller for $5,000. So it's really what you want to do with the machine. If you need the Pro machine and you feel like you're going to need a little more Z-table and you are going to use a PC, get the Pro machine. Yeah, the Pro machine's great. It's got the Pro rails. If you're a Mac user and you were thinking about doing more rotary things, and the rotary seemed interesting to you, I would think about getting hooking up with that deal with the Rotary, Riser Rotary, and the Muse. Yeah,
if you're getting it for more of a toy and playing, kind of tinkering, then I would definitely get the Muse. Yeah,
absolutely.
There's a lot more options going on there.
Yeah, and then Dan, if you were going to start a business that was very specific and you knew what you were going to do with it, I would probably lean towards the Pro, though.
Yeah,
it all depends on what you're going to do, what type of material you're going to use. Really, it's application specific. But I'll tell you what, Danny, if you give our sales guys a call today or send them an email, we'll gladly walk you through the comparison of the two machines and help you find the best decision. Do we have any more over here from your side, Facebook, Ruben? I have a small business. After receiving my 5th gen, I've been able to add laser design as an extra service. Excellent. So Randall Lee is just mentioning here on Facebook that he actually has a small business, and after receiving his 5th gen, he was able to add laser design service. So that's exactly what we're talking about. And I'm sure you can bounce around some of the laser communities that are online and ask some of the other people who have started businesses kind of how they rolled into it. And most of them will say that they added the laser as an addition to current services or a current offering. So keep that in mind as you push forth and are looking towards adding a laser to your services.
Randall must be a busy guy because he's always watching and has his own business.
Well, I mean, that's probably why you have time if you have your own business.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
If you're not, locked into being at work between sets of times, it's actually when you really do become, I'd say, more fulfilled as an artist because you're doing that throughout the day, all day.
Yeah, he's professional, so.
Absolutely. Learning. So, appreciate you always tuning in. And Randall, like I said, glad to hear that 5th gen's working out for you with your small business. Looks like we have just one more coming in. Oh, nope, that's still Danny. Sorry about that. Well, like I said, if you were interested in those two deals, make sure you call our sales team. They are ready to help you out with that. If you're a makerspace, EDU space, don't forget too, you can also get 6 Muse for the price of 5 if you're trying to get a bulk amount of units into a space, whether you're school, makerspace, community work shed, what have you. Give us a call. We've got some great bulk rates for those as well. And it looks like that's all we have for announcements over here on our wall. Until next week, we'll be talking a little bit more about the Pro series of CO2 lasers and some of the different applications, and then sort of how you can use Pro CO2 or even Muse CO2 lasers in combination with other units we have. So maybe cutting something on the Muse, marking it on the fiber, maybe you're doing something with firearms or medical services where you can use both. But having a fiber and a CO2 in combination of services is a really great way to expand your services. So we're going to talk about that a little bit next week. Using different systems together and how to maximize them. So make sure you come back and check us out for that next week. And until next time, make sure you're checking out our 1-hour builds, our little tidbits from Laser 101, and these sales on our website. So if you wouldn't mind, give us a like, a share, subscribe. Smash that subscribe. Hey guys, smash that subscribe button down below, just like all the other YouTubers out there. Subscribe, like, share, all those things. If you like. If not, give us a suggestion down below on how we can be a little bit better, or maybe what you'd like to see next week on Laser Talk. Or projects. This guy's looking for big challenges, so make sure you give Walker something he thinks impossible to do, and we'll see if we can't make it happen. All right, so from the whole team here at Full Spectrum, we appreciate you tuning in, and until next time,
keep making.
All right.